Good evening. Thank you for joining the planning board meeting for Wednesday, October 25th. Sorry for the delay. We needed to get a quorum, but we now have a quorum. Just like to note that this meeting is being recorded, and the next thing on the agenda would be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So next item on our agenda, we have approval of meeting minutes from October 12th meeting. Did anyone have a chance to review those minutes? And if so, would they like to make a motion to accept them, or if they have any corrections?
This is from which meeting, Mr. Chairman?
October 11th.
October 11th. Would have been our last meeting.
Minutes, there you go. I just had one to read, right? So, Mr. Chairman, I have it in my notes that we talked about the Chase Mill Host Community Agreement. We're not going to get into the minutes? I know that we just were talking about there's some concerns about,
Post-community agreement.
yeah, that they,
Not being paid.
exactly, they weren't being paid, that there was less profits than anticipated originally, and there was some kind of legislation going through, or some, in the process of going through.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's worth putting in the minutes at all or not. We just kind of mentioned it wasn't, there was
It's
action or anything.
Kind of under other correspondence.
Oh, did I miss it?
A second.
There you go, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, yep.
It's there.
And I thought there was one other item that we talked about, sorry for my lack of correct, accurate memory, but there was something that was, let me think for a second, that we had approved not too long ago, can't remember if it's special permit or not, and then we were no longer the monitoring it, it was Mr. Rude was monitoring it?
Yes, the landfill.
Is that the landfill? I did speak to Bill about that, and he told me that to leave it out. It wasn't part of the agenda or something, that it was just a discussion, so
Okay.
I did that.
Then, Mr. Chairman, with your approval on this, whenever we get to comments of the board, I'd like to make sure I get something about that in on my comment. And then otherwise I can make a motion that we haven't read the meeting minutes, unfortunately late. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from the Wednesday, October 11th meeting as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, okay. You can sign them off. Okay, you get two already.
You got two already?
Yep.
You can't beat that.
Laura's got it all set up for us.
Excuse me, Dan, you said something you wanted something in comments, is that for later tonight, or?
Yeah, whenever we get to the comments from the board, I'll mention something there if I remember.
All right, thank you. I just didn't want to misunderstand.
Set for you, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay, takes care of the minutes. We have no A&R plans tonight. Number 3 on our agenda tonight is discussion with William Trefone, Selectmen's appointee delegate to the Central Mass Regional Planning. Is it commission? Yeah, commission. I couldn't remember if it was commission or committee. Sorry, commission.
Thank you, Chairman. First, a little bit about the commission. The commission provides technical assistance. I think it's most important thing they do is they provide technical assistance to the cities and towns who are members, which is basically Worcester County, and to be able to help them with grants and other planning, particularly in the areas of transportation, but they cover a wide field. And so from their website, I could list the various categories, and then we could talk about specifically how Dudley has benefited from being a member. Just as a little background, I've been a delegate since 2015. I was on the executive committee for 2 years, and I've been on the legislative affairs committee for 4 years, and that's a committee we recommend to the executive committee pending legislation that would help our cities and towns, and the executive committee votes on our recommendations, and then we pursue that. Also, we hold a couple of meetings a year. The last one was on affordable housing in the spring. So as far as in general categories of ability to help the cities and towns and the region, there's community development and planning services, neighborhood visioning, plan development and implementation, local bylaw development, planning for development of regional impact, housing plans, both local and regional collaboratives, and also planning for water resources across municipal boundaries, green energy technical assistance, hazard mitigation, and also brownfields. So specifically for the town of Dudley, in the last few years, the chairman reminded me that when there was turnover in the planning office, that the Central Mass provided the staffing to help you get through that period. Also, it assisted with the Green Communities Program development that I think is a big success and a wonderful possibility to expand beyond its current scope. The Downtown Gateway project, transportation initiatives like West Main Street and Schofield area, also trying to secure safe routes to school funding, so to develop sidewalks for students who walk to school, and a program that's called the Complete Streets Plan, which is being reviewed for potential further projects. Also, the Stevens Mill conversion is in the planning phase for apartments, and they assisted with that. Also completed recently the Dudley Open Space and Recreation Plan, and then assisted the town in securing money under the Community Development Block Grants. And over the last 4 years, that included a ADA transition plan in Jericho and Brandon Road infrastructure, housing rehab, and that was shared with Millbury. Those types of collaborative proposals are generally more easily funded, and so it's a big benefit to everybody. In fiscal 21, also First Avenue infrastructure project and housing rehab, and in the year just completed projects including First Ave infrastructure, Phase 2, the Town Beach ADA design, and Marino Jericho S&B inventory. And they also list that currently they're working on the Dudley Gateway Vision Plan, Dudley Open Space and Recreation Plan, and once again the Community Development Block Grants. So they're quite active. I thought I should mention that each town gets 12 hours of free service, and then the delegates can earn up to another 12 hours a year total for the town. So a maximum of 24 hours can be free, simply by attending the meetings. And I get credit for those legislative meetings. In addition to that, there are 4 quarterly meetings. So that's the general outline of what they can do. I'm quite impressed by them. I've been there for eight years now, and they're very willing to come in and talk or assist you in any way that you see fit. So that's my presentation. I could answer questions, or if there's any discussion you'd like to have, I'll do the best to help.
Don't have any questions, but I just know, like, in the said in the past, they've been very helpful. Anytime we get to a point or we have something pop up that's not been done before, or some new government regulation that we have to fulfill with a plan or some sort. Typically, if you go to them, they already know about it, they've already helped somebody with it, and they can, you know, sometimes even have a boilerplate to help you start what you need to do. So it's been a great relationship. I know I've been on the planning board for almost 20 years, and their name has come up a lot in the 20 years that I've been on the board. And
Well, I agree. You know, small towns and school districts, we can't have an expert in every single part of everything, right? Like ADA, we all know quite a bit, but don't know everything about it. And they can have 1 or 2 people, that'll be their sole purpose, because they're doing the same thing 40 times. So, you know, some of us, it takes a while, but certainly by 40 times, I'm sure that they can easily do those plans. So I agree with you on that, and I appreciate the board having me in to talk about that.
I think it's a great resource for the town, and I think it's not a huge expense to the town. And with, like you said, with your service and Mr. Clark's service, I think the hours that we get back from them for free service is very, it's a very good relationship.
And I continue to expand their staffing, so the grant funding has really been geared to them. They receive more money from the state, which is their main source of income. However, you're correct, each town is assessed an amount, and I don't recall what it is for Dudley. It's certainly under $20,000, and it only goes up 2.5% a year unless there's a increase in population. Then it's a per capita situation.
I can echo Chairman Guy. I mean, the CMRPC, who's a huge help with the Complete Streets program.
Mhm.
They were easy to work with. They brought in, 3 or 4 delegates a couple times, even when there was COVID. They were meeting with us on Zoom meetings and everything. It was just a huge help. And it was nice watching them take interest in it and push the project as much as we tried. I mean, they knew a hell of a lot more about it than we did, so they were driving the bus and really pushed us along, and it was really appreciated. We've already reaped some benefits of that on Mason Road. So it's really cool. And also, yeah, it's just, as Guy said, hear your name and, you know, don't really realize that you've been doing this for so long and everything, and it's really impressive. And I hope I'm speaking for a lot of people in town when I say thanks.
I appreciate that. I'm enjoying trying to help, and we have a great town here, so we all have to pitch in. So,
That's why we're all here, right?
Sure. If there's nothing else, anything else? Okay, well, thank you very much for inviting me.
Yep.
As always, just let me know if you have any specific interest that you already have somebody who can convey it, but I'd be glad to jump on board to try to help to push. As I said, they've been very cooperative, though. If you ever want the executive director or one of the regional directors who's in charge of transportation or something else, I'm sure that they would be glad to come and visit you.
I think our next big task coming up, it's been talked about briefly many times, but I think at some point in time we're gonna have to jump on it, is the master plan. Because I think our master plan is from 2000, if I remember right, so it's 25, it's gonna be 23 years old, maybe even going on 24 years old. So I think at some point in time that you know, the state's gonna require that we have a new master plan, and I remember when they did the last one, I wasn't here, but I was told that it was a huge undertaking for for the town to try to do that, so we're gonna probably need some help and guidance, because I'm sure a lot of things have changed in 23 years.
I seem to recall that it took a couple of years, 3 years maybe, to do that, and I think you're absolutely correct that when it comes to certain grant funding, if you don't have an up-to-date master plan, it's much more difficult to obtain funds.
So maybe that move us to look into getting that done sooner rather than later. That's my thought, so.
Pass that on.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
One last thank you for your patience for waiting for me.
No problem. This is nothing. I went through 500 school committee meetings easily, plus
All right.
another couple of hundred meetings, so no problem.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Very nice to see you again.
Okay, so, next we have on our agenda standard business, but with planner being absent for this evening, I don't think we're gonna get any updates on the standard business, but I'll just go through the standard business discussion. Status report on finished construction of and acceptance of uncompleted, unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates, Rocky Hill Estates, Country View Estates, Eisenhower Drive, Tobin Farms, Lyon Estates, Sophie's Way. Number 2 would be the inspections and actions associated with site plans. We have Legacy Landing, Country Club Acres, SEP Solar on Oxford Ave, JD&D 24 Oxford Ave, Stevens Mill.
Mr. Chairman, do you have any idea how we would try to get an update on Stevens Mill? I know that's out of our jurisdiction, I mean, town's jurisdiction, that their design team is probably doing whatever they can to, on the owner's schedule, but it'd be nice to have some kind of general input if possible.
I think when Bill gets back, we could ask him to get in contact with the owners and ask if they could give us an update, seeing how we haven't heard too much. I mean, we asked if they would put up a sign, and they did, so, I mean, I think they would be, I think they would probably give us an update if we asked for it, to see where they are.
It's like our approval also has a certain duration, right?
Time limit, yeah, so I think it was 2 years, if not 3, but it's probably coming up close to 2 years already.
So I'm thinking too.
So if we, so if we gave them a 2-year window there, they may be coming back looking for an extension.
I think it was a 3-year.
You think it was a 3-year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was, and there was also the tax, it wasn't a tax TIF, it was a economic development zone, and it was combined with Webster.
Yeah,
And I
I remember
don't
that.
know how long that was, how long that vote was good for, but I can't imagine it was good forever, so I would think they'd wanna,
Would have Webster's had any people go in for that TIF, or whatever it was?
yeah, it was an economic development zone where you get a reduction in your taxes for being in that area, so. But again, I don't think it would ask forever, so we probably would need to come back to us and to Webster at some point in time.
And maybe the town meeting for the TIF part, or whatever it's called.
So obviously we won't get anything from Planner's Plate. Number 4, comments from the planning board.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say is, you kind of, as I brought up earlier, I didn't, after last meeting, 2 weeks ago, I wanted to kind of go back and look at my notes and see what, well, you know, just refresh my memory what happened as far as the whole entire the landfill site is concerned. And I hadn't had a chance to do it, and I just want to do that and possibly just maybe ask Bill a couple of questions, either via email or maybe in a meeting, just to kind of find out what's going on there.
Okay.
It seems like some of the other construction sites or the other things that around the town that we've approved, we've had some kind of, I don't want to say oversight, but we've had a channel to the person who's doing the oversight. And it's just, right now, it just make it's just, I would say out of sight, out of mind, but it just is, I don't think it is where it should be. So I just kind of want to try to revisit that if possible.
Yeah, I think we can get another update, because the update they gave us was, at the last meeting was, after we had asked for it. They were supposed to be given regular updates, and I don't think we got the regular updates, so we can ask them for the regular update.
I think there was even a question about the third party thing that was going through the general contractor, and just kind of, just try to understand this a little bit better.
I don't know if, do you go to the dump every week, or?
I never go to them, no.
Okay,
If
so
anything.
I go to the dump every week. I can attest that there is activity going on. So, in the last couple of weeks, the solar panels have arrived. The racks are pretty much all installed, and I would say, from what I could see, half of the solar panels are already on the racks. So they're,
Once the backs, most of it's filled up, so I can see it from my yard.
so I would think in another week, they should have all the solar panels installed, and then they just probably need to, look at their finishing up their finish grading and their drainage, and then probably the fencing.
Big
So-
drainage was the big thing, because it's just a river now flowing through.
Okay.
It wasn't like that before they started.
Yeah, I mean, most construction sites, unfortunately, with all the rain we've been having
Yeah.
erosion control problems anyway. We've had to ask town entities to go out there and kind of talk to them, or for the planning board to send a letter to
Mhm.
these people, trying to get them to tighten things up, so, without us having any, I don't wanna say control, but any kind of direct conduit to the powers that be, it's, I don't know who's doing that, I don't know how it's being done, I don't know if there's any issues, it just kind of doesn't seem 100%, I don't wanna say fair, but that's kind of the way I'm going, it seems like we should be a little bit involved. Just for, you know, I'll set it up.
All right. But I don't think we're gonna get any comments from the audience. Our next meeting date is scheduled for November 8th, 2023. And I believe we did have I did have a conversation with Bill about canceling the November 22nd meeting. It's the night before Thanksgiving, so we decided that if there was any business that we needed to take up, we could just take it up at the next meeting. After that would be the first meeting in
Sounds like a good idea
December.
to me.
So it's typical that we usually cancel that meeting anyways. So just so everybody knows. So we will have a meeting on November 8th, but we will cancel the one on the 22nd. And I didn't see any vouchers or invoices today, so I think that's all set. And we've got town notices. Let's see. One thing we can just say is that we did receive, and Nora was good enough to bring them in here, it's an expansion for the parking lot
Yes.
for the Dudley Housing Authority. This is at Joshua Place. So there's gonna be some work done there. It's gonna need a site plan review, and I believe the consulting town engineer, Graves Engineering, is gonna do the engineering work. So we would therefore need to get another consulting engineer to review it and make a report for the planning board. So, but I think until that happens, we won't really have much to talk about until we get there. We get another review from another engineer, because none of us are qualified to review it. So, all right, no other notices, correspondence. Somebody like to make a motion for adjournment?
But just before we do that, just want a big thank you to Aura. Everything's squared away and in order. I can actually find things. I did my glasses with me, so I couldn't see the tabs at first, but now that I see they're there.
Sorry. I was
Excellent.
trying to use things that we already had in the office and not spend money, so.
No, it's appreciated. It's
But, really, just if you need anything else, just let me know and I'll make it happen. If, you want anything added in there, or you don't like the way it is, any changes, let me know.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're gonna get everybody on the planning board a new Tesla?
Yeah. No, because I don't like electric vehicles.
Well, like it or not, that's the way we're gonna have to go at some point. All right.
So I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you and good night, everybody.